20,000 years ago, a man walks half a day across open grassland to bring down a single deer. He is lean and strong in a way almost nobody alive today will ever be. He has never tasted sugar that didn't come from fruit or a wild bee's honey, and he has never once in his life eaten anything fried. Now hand him a paper bag, a cheeseburger, large fries, a thick, cold milkshake. He takes the first bite, and it is the best thing he has ever eaten. A few hours later, he is on the ground, sweating, gripping his stomach, with no idea what just went wrong. Most people think they already know why. Their food was clean, ours is junk, so of course the junk would wreck him. It's a comforting story, and it's mostly wrong. His body wouldn't fold because the food was unnatural to him. It would fold because he was built almost perfectly for the opposite kind of food, and a fast food meal takes that design apart from the inside. And the strange part is what that says about you, sitting where you're sitting right now. Start with something that sounds like a compliment. Ancient humans had the sharpest food instincts of any creature alive. Every animal that forages is solving one problem before all the others. Find enough energy to survive before something else finds you. For most of our history, calories were scarce and unpredictable. A good week meant meat and ripe fruit. A bad month meant digging up roots and going to sleep hungry. So evolution built a kind of compass into us, and it pointed straight at whatever was hardest to find and worth the most when you found it. Fat carried the most energy in the smallest bite. Sweetness meant ripe, safe, instant fuel. And salt, which the body can't live without, the land almost never handed over freely. Taste any of those, and the brain poured out a little flood of reward that said the same thing every time. This is good. Eat more. Remember this spot. That compass kept him alive. It was one of the smartest tools the human brain ever grew. And the whole problem is hiding inside the gift. Because a fast food meal is the first food in history tuned to hit every one of those targets at once, harder than anything in nature ever could. In the 1970s, a market researcher named Howard Moskowitz gave the food industry a name for the thing they were chasing: the bliss point, the exact ratio of fat, sugar, and salt that lights the brain up the most while never quite letting you feel full. Companies spend fortunes finding that point for a single soda. A wild deer doesn't have a bliss point. A handful of berries doesn't. A burger, fries, and a shake were tuned to land on it on purpose. So when our hunter takes that first bite, his compass doesn't warn him, it celebrates. Every instinct he has is shouting that he's found the richest food of his entire life. He wouldn't eat one burger and stop. He'd want all of it, and more of it tomorrow. The same wiring that made him a brilliant hunter leaves him wide open to food built to use it against him. That's the taste. Now follow the meal past his tongue, because his tongue is the only part of him that was ready for it. Start with the milkshake, because the milkshake is probably what drops him first. For almost all of human history, no grown adult on Earth could drink milk without getting sick. Every baby is born able to break down the sugar in milk, using an enzyme called lactase. For most of the past, that enzyme quietly switched off after childhood, because no adult had any reason to drink milk. Then, only a few thousand years ago, herding spread through parts of Europe and Africa, and a change appeared that kept lactase running for life. The people who carried it could pull extra calories out of milk as adults, so it spread fast. But a hunter from 20,000 years ago lived long before any of that. His body stopped making lactase when he was a small child. So when he drinks that shake, he's pouring a huge dose of milk sugar into a gut with nothing to break it down. It slides undigested into his lower intestine, where bacteria fall on it and ferment it, throwing off gas and cramping and the kind of deep stomach pain that puts a grown adult flat on the floor. He has no idea why. The drink tasted wonderful. His body is treating it like something close to poison. Then there's the salt. One fast food meal can carry close to a full day of sodium in a single sitting, sometimes more. To us, that feels like nothing, because we grew up swimming in it. His food almost never had any added salt at all. A little from meat, a little from plants, and that was the whole supply for a lifetime. His kidneys had spent years carefully holding on to every trace they could find, because losing salt was the real danger out there. Now they're hit with a flood they were never built for. His body drags in water to dilute it, his blood pressure climbs, and he feels a thirst that plain water barely touches. And the strangest part isn't the burger at all. It's who lives inside him, his gut. In Tanzania, there's a group called the Hadza, one of the last people still living mostly by hunting and gathering. When Stephanie Schnorr and her colleagues studied them, in a 2014 paper in Nature Communications, they found a gut richer and more diverse than almost anything in the industrial world. A later Stanford team put numbers on the diet behind it. A Hadza adult takes in something like 100 grams of fiber a day. The average person in a wealthy country gets closer to 15. An ancient hunter's gut would look like that, or wilder. Trillions of bacteria built around the roots, tubers, seeds, fruit, and tough fibrous plants he chewed through all day. The meal in that paper bag has almost no fiber in it. It's soft, refined, stripped right down. For an inner world tuned to grind through fibrous plants from dawn to dark, a sudden flood of refined fat and starch, with nothing familiar in it, is a shock to the whole system. Painful bloating and a whole population of tiny residents thrown into chaos. His body just doesn't have the right tools standing by. Now put it all together. A milkshake his gut can't process. A wave of salt his kidneys have never met in his life. On top of that, a fat and sugar bomb with no fiber to slow any of it down, landing in a metabolism shaped by tens of thousands of years of feast and famine. A few hours after the best meal of his life, the man who could run a deer down on foot is curled on the ground, and the food he is still quietly craving is the reason. So the picture is real. An ancient human really would end up clutching his stomach after fast food. But the reason flips the whole story we like to tell about ourselves. We love the idea that they were pure and we are poisoned. That they ate clean while we eat slop. The truth is less flattering and a lot more interesting. Their food wasn't magic. They starved through bad seasons. They carried parasites, lost teeth, and plenty of them died young from things we now fix with a single pill. A lot of what they ate was bland and tough and barely enough. What they had wasn't a perfect diet. It was a body matched perfectly to the food in front of it. Scarce, fibrous, low in salt, almost never sweet. Every system in that body assumed the food would always be that way. Fast food doesn't break him because it's evil. It breaks him because it's abundant and refined and engineered. And nothing in his entire history ever prepared a human body for abundance. The cravings are ancient. The food is brand new. That gap is the whole story. And that gap never closed. It's sitting inside you right now. Your body runs the same compass his did. The same pull toward fat and sugar and salt. The same quiet voice saying, "Eat more. Remember this. You didn't grow out of it." You grew up inside a world that learned exactly how to press those ancient buttons on purpose, on every shelf and every drive-through. The ancient hunter on the ground isn't some stranger laughing at the modern world. He's a preview. His instincts and yours are the same instincts. The only thing that changed is that somewhere along the way, someone figured out how to sell to them. So, would ancient people get sick on fast food? Almost certainly the first few times. A gut, a pair of kidneys, a whole chemistry tuned for scarcity would struggle with a meal from a world they never lived in. But leave that hunter near a drive-thru for a month, and the honest ending isn't that he turns away from it. It's that he keeps coming back, pulled again and again by the same brilliant, ancient instinct that once kept him alive, now working quietly against him. Exactly the way it works on the rest of us.